How about we put this? Radio fresh out of business. No, why are you still talking? We're breaking your hand over every week, sir. Fresh on Monday. Senator, well, Scott, what's the please? It's been on us 2 weeks. So experience. Remember like it is. That's crazy.
Yeah, do you like that? Yeah. Yeah, we do that all night then. So what I'm going to do is, so how am I feeling today?
Tired?
No, that's it. Okay? Everybody's got the grate on their table, on their chair. So Tony starts to, I was going to put that big box right up here, and I guess it's going to mess up things. What I'm going to do is like, some of the boxes. Did you interrupt me, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, you can carry that box right here. I'm going to take the box, Susan's going to hand the box, and it's just going to roll on here. So you'll be able to see the box as some of the images come up. Not that box, you don't have to take that box. So I started collecting cereal boxes like 30 years ago. And so I'm always looking for the oldest box I can ever find. And on eBay, this box came up. A friend of mine, he said, hey, there's this like really old box in there. I said, what? Yeah, well, look at me like, shit, this is great. It's 1869. It's probably the oldest cereal box there is. And Graham is cereal. That's how cereal started out. That was the box. Did you start passing the box around? Okay, so the box is going around. You can kind of look at it. It was that big. It's really small. This is an internal revenue stamp. So it was put on the box in probably about 1875. And what they do, I'll just go back over here. Some of this information was on there. I wrote this information up. These people put on this proprietary stamp as a tax, which automatically made it a medicine for the cereal. Because it would take care of diarrhea, infant sickness. It had all these crazy things that it would do to the cereal from 1869, 75. So I figured, hey, how much should I pay for that box? I put this giant reserve into eBay. So I really wanted it. It could never come up again. So you got in your head which one you might think it is. Okay, everybody gets number 2, you can leave the room. Okay, number 3, I probably won't have anybody left. So what's the 50-50 here? 33. You're all no fun. 33 bucks. This is like something almost 150 years old. Yeah, for 33 bucks. It's crazy. And I don't know if anybody knows this is the oldest box or not.
What's the original price?
I don't know. There's no original price because everything was like determined who would pay how much. There's no barcode. So grape nuts. Like around 1889, 1898. They first came in bags. That's how they were. And they did this box until around like 1900. I'm just going chronologically. So here's a 1906 Kellogg's box. So I'm going to pass that around and look at it too. And if you notice up there, it says Sanitas. It doesn't say Kellogg's on it, on the top. So this was the first box. And somebody called me from New York about 15 years ago. And I've been looking for this first box for years. I've gone to the Kellogg's archives, and I was there looking at some of their boxes, and here on their desk for preservation were 2 of the first boxes. Like, wow, can I have one of those or trade you or something? I said, no, goes in Kellogg's, never comes out. So I was always wishing I had one. And this woman calls me up. So I got some old cereal boxes, and I said, yeah, what they are. So I got this Corn Flakes, 1906, and I got this 1917 Post Toast. I said, 1906? She said, yeah. He said, well, so-and-so you for like 75 bucks from here. I said, okay, that's great. And it was saved because it was put behind a window frame, or a picture on the window. So to hold the picture inside the frame. And that's why it's been saved all those years. And here's the Post Toasties, new Post Toasties. He's like 1950. Post Toasties came out before them, but that's pretty close. Now, I'm jumping to like 1924. This is the first Wheaties box. It didn't have any advertisements on it. It was just, straight, eat this, it's really great. Later on, they started doing baseball players in the 30s, they put them on the back, and it's been a really popular medium for them. This is probably the first advertising of a cereal box on the front of a character. It was Mickey Mouse. They started in 1934.
It's like you got shot in the stomach twice.
You got what?
Looks like a shotgun.
Oh,
on
you have the bottom?
his fist.
No, it's the pelvis has 2 holes.
Oh, okay. Right here, Rice Krispies, about 1937. I don't know those boxes. Good point. And what we're going to watch here is the first cereal commercial from 1938. They showed them in the movie theaters and called them minute movies. It's like, it was a great medium because it was entertainment.
We say what?
We have let you stay all night, Bobby. Don't you like the cereal? Oh, yeah. But it's a little mushy. It's not crisp like the kind my breakfast pal served Dad and me at home. The breakfast pals? Sure, they come every morning as soon as I whistle. Why? I'm smart. I'm purple. I'm hot. After service, Bobby. Oh, yeah. Hey, Daddy, this is what's for this. Let's do it. Come on, Monty. Hey, let's go, Bobby.
Yes,
Salt, pepper. Those kids couldn't take care of those little midgets.
Oh, sure, there's a whip. It's noisy. Hear it? Whip to the last spoonful.
So a funny story behind that, that was on a laser disc. And I found it on a laser disc. And Kellogg's called me up because I put out this tape on cereal boxes. They said, where can we get that commercial? I said, oh, I can probably get it for you really good quality. I says, okay, well, what do you want for it? And, usually they'd probably pay like $100 or $300, and I said, I want cereal boxes out of your archives. But actually it was Leo Burnett, the advertising agent. And they said, well, let's see what we can do. So I went and got a 3/4 of it, sent it in, and they used it nationally. They redid the whole audio because they're afraid that the license for the people might still be in effect some places where the voices, like, they were really careful. And I didn't hear from it, about 2 months later, I get this box. And it's some of my dream boxes, like Josie and the Pussycats from the 60s, Superman boxes from the 50s, Dragnet boxes from the 50s, like, just as a value, it was nothing compared to what they were ever given to me because they didn't know what the cereal box market was like. And that same day, a friend of mine from Wisconsin, I think, had found some cereal boxes of 50 Superman stuff too, and other Dragnet stuff. Like, but this is crazy. That one day I got the best box I ever got in my whole life. That one day, thanks to Leo Burnett and my friend Tom. So this is Pep cereal. And this is, Pep did Superman for the radio broadcast. They didn't make any boxes till later when he was doing his radio broadcasts. trying to click here. So every time I click and it doesn't do anything, I'll blame it on the machine. Yeah, I just made it closer. So this was the first box that had Superman on it, 1946. And those were pins. And the kids would get pins, each pin in the box, and they had this hat, and they would put all the pins on the hat. And the Superman was the most desired because everybody wanted Superman. So it became the most valuable one because everybody wanted it. This is another Superman box with cartoons on the back that you could read a Superman adventure every time you bought the box. It was still advertising Superman on the front, which was still, you know, innovative at that time. Okay, in the late 40s, they had Halloween masks. This is our witch, okay? Then we had our devil. Look at those piercing eyes. You cut them out, you punch out his eyes, and you like hurt it. But that's what kids would be able to have, you know, for Halloween. It was ingenious. Okay, then they went too far. They got a very, very scary Chinaman with green skin, okay?
And red eyes.
And red eyes, which you couldn't see through unless you were bumping around and stuff. Okay. Then they went for the Congo guy, the cannibal king. So I guess if you wore that, people would run from you because they think you're going to eat them. Well, I didn't have those words down here. Okay, now here's quote the worst.
Whoa.
It says, "Mammy chocolate." Yeah. So she was in the box, and they let her be like small eyes or something.
She looks like she's crazy.
This is one of the most successful promotions that ever existed. That's the big box there. Just go ahead and pass it around. It was an atom bomb ring. Atomic. So General Mills said they gave away, they sold 1 million of these rings in 1946 to like 49. 1 million. And still today they're still like 50 and 60 bucks each. But some of the things you hear like, see J1 atoms split to smithereens. And like, you put this up to your eye and watch radiation puncture you. I mean, that's what you're doing up here. It's just, yeah, some type of plutonium or something. I don't know what it was. But some rings still have a glow. After like 60 or 70 years, they still have a glow.
Did you read
So-
me?
I brought it on the screen. It's a screen ring. So this is a beautiful piece of jewelry. Yeah, I didn't want to expose everybody. And everywhere you can look, don't worry, no radiation up here. Look how beautiful it is. It's just a beautiful piece of like technology at that time. You know, kids would go around and try to blow up people and stuff. And they, look at my ring, get radiated, and fall down. It's just a beautiful piece of engineering for a cereal toy. It was only 10 cents to send away.
Metal or plastic?
It was metal. The top was plastic, the front was plastic, the red plastic, you know, for the bomb that detonated and it came down. Yes.
Thanks.
All right, this is the first color, really colored box of 1953. Well, where's Tony? This is Frosty Flakes. Well, they first started with the concept of 3 cereals. Of Tony the Tiger, and Gnu the Gnu, which is like this cow, I don't know who would go for that, and then Katie the Kangaroo. So the purpose was Tony the Tiger for boys and Katie for girls. We see who won out for this biased society. So this was like 53. And Superman continued because he was on TV. He started to become really popular on TV. So Kellogg's bought the rights for having Superman on all their products. And here's a comic book that is really valuable now because it didn't have a hard cover. It was a soft cover. So if you get it in really great condition, it's like it's psycho expensive. But if you get one of those 3 inside your packages, It was, I think there's no, this is like, I had a Superman promotion, I've been on a couple other boxes. It's been really hard to find these boxes. And this is black.
Ooh, I like that.
Like that black.
Creation.
Here's the commercial.
Meet my pal, Mark Kent, the star of Superman. You know, there's something mighty interesting going on around my town. Every place I go, I see that favorite new cereal, Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes. Look.
You just can't be Superman, that's all there is to it.
Privacy issues here, okay?
Well, I know something you can do that Superman will sure like. Why? You can have some more Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes. Superman says they're the best. I like them the best too. Hey, I know. Since you like Sugar Frosted Flakes, you can be Supergirl.
That didn't come till 58.
This is the new cereal kids all agree is the best tasting cereal ever. Tony, tell the folks how Frosted Flakes taste. Great! Like Frosted Flakes, Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes.
That's Tony Jr. down there on the left. So Supergirl didn't come to like, I think 1958 in the comics. And here it was 1954 talking about Supergirl.
Chuck Larson was the first one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Chuck Larson.
He was the first Tony Tiger
Yeah,
voice.
Like Jimmy Olsen.
Thurl Ravencroft was almost the first and the last. He was like the big guy for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Another funny thing about, we were talking about Kryptonite in the radio shows, that was first introduced, Superman Kryptonite was first introduced in the radio shows. And the first Batman-Superman connection was in the radio shows for Kellogg's, before the comics. Here's another one of the promotions, rock launch, you pump it up with water, and it shoots like 100 feet high, and I'm sure nobody got hurt with that.
Mr. Kellogg's best customers. Look at her eyes light up when she spies those Kellogg's cornflakes. Oh, plenty. Oh, those Kellogg's cornflakes. I wish you had a spare package to give. Little girls just don't understand things like this.
Wow.
To get the Kellogg's cornflakes to her in time to stop the coming storm, you'd have to be Superman.
Did you see Superman go by? There he is.
Superman did
You saw him.
Kellogg's cornflakes.
Why is this Superman's
He
top
had a tough
priority?
time keeping up. More people run out of it every morning than any other cereal. Because Kellogg's cornflakes taste best to more people.
Yeah.
Always
Boy,
have,
Bob, that's a girl
still
box.
do. Just look at them put lights back in this little girl's eye. Don't run out at your house. Remember, anytime you buy cereal of any kind, pick up a spare package of Kellogg's cornflakes.
Better than a doll. This is Norman Rockwell. He did 4 portraits for the Cornflakes boxes. And during that era was when the Superman cereal promotions, so there's a whole bunch of promotions with the Norman Rockwell paintings on them. He's one of the most famous painters ever, and I don't know how they got him to do that. I guess it must have been lots of money or lots of cereal. So every one of these commercials has a Norman Rockwell child in it.
Glad you stopped by for breakfast, Jimmy. Oh, excuse me, will you?
Where's he going?
Cornflakes. No, it's a spare package.
And he has X-ray vision.
This is a spare package. Well, I'll have to run down the store and pick up another one. Because we're going to get to the office. There's no time. Who do you think I am? Superman? No. No, I don't think that.
Why is he with Clark Kent in the morning? There's Superman again. Well, let's go make sure.
Deliver Kellogg's cornflakes.
Yeah.
More people run out of them every morning than any other cereal. Because Kellogg's cornflakes
Where'd you go, Ken?
more people. Always have, still do. Don't run out at your house.
No.
Remember, anytime you buy cereal of any kind, pick up a spare package of Kellogg's cornflakes.
Here's another one with the boy with a spoon. So there's a boy and a girl with a spoon, another two kids with strings wrapped around their fingers. That was your memory enhancer. You put a string to don't forget to get your cereal. So I guess you can see all these kids, you know, in the 50s with strings around their fingers. Show you another commercial with Clark.
This is Mr. Perry White's house, and inside, Perry White of the Daily Planet is just sitting down to breakfast. Mr. White is one of those remarkable men who is in complete control of himself in any crisis.
What the hell with all these empty cereal boxes this morning? They pick it up and put empty cereal boxes on the table?
This sounds like a job for Superman.
Of course. Here he is again. Oh, he's up in the sky.
Mr. White's a man who always gets his right. Even Superman who can keep everybody in.
I'll make you wait next time.
In front of me.
And you look out the window afterwards.
So anytime you buy any cereal of any kind, pick up a spare package of Kellogg's Corn Flakes. You'll like it.
So are these stories in continuity after the New 52?
Well, actually, it is.
Oh, that's great, isn't it? So here's the girl again. Okay, you notice every time Superman flashed by, you didn't see him. They had to do something with licensing to show Superman. And Clark always showed up as Kent, which they didn't have control on. So I think they had some deal with DC, like, if you show Superman, it's going to cost you more. And you know, all the companies are really cheap. So they use stock footage of him flying. So that's what we figured that happened. With it just had to do with money, since you never saw Superman coming out. Here's your box, and he'd show right to the table. But no, he flashes by like, oh, that was Superman.
It had the really costume.
Yeah, the costume. Already the costume was really expensive. Yeah, that's a good point. So you didn't know that Trix had a superhero. He was a superhero. Character comes like, so there's that T, which means he's a superhero. Since his talk is about superheroes. So I picked out the superheroes that are on these different packages. So this came about 1981. So there's Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman showed up on a cereal box, you know, with Hulk and Captain America and Spider-Man. So obviously they were married early on. It's just weird to have Spider-Woman like that. Okay, time for cereal box learning. This is a big uncut. It's in the box. This is an uncut sheet of cereal. Down there is color registration. They would print different colors to make up the box with different layers. And sometimes you can get these, would only come from the printers or the advertising agency, sometimes from the cereal company. But they are like proofs and stuff. And also, this is a flat. It's been cut out and die cut. That was in there too. And that's called a flat in the cereal world, so that's like a really mint thing that everybody wants to get. How can you get a mint thing? This is Michael Jordan's first box. And I got a progressive proof of like 12 boxes. And each has different colors. Like there'll be a blue, only blue color. There'll be like only yellow. Well, only one of those boxes is a white Wheaties box. And everybody wants a white Wheaties box because they still hardly exist. So this is a white Wheaties box because they printed orange because it was Wheaties orange. It was a special color, and then they did like yellow, blue, and red. And I still have this one, but I had another white Wheaties box with somebody else. And I sold it for like $700 to some Wheaties collector like years ago, like in the year 2000. But this one here, someday somebody's gonna buy my whole pile of progressive fruits. Oh, sorry. This is Cherry. She was one of the best Wheaties spokesmen of all. I forgot she was on there. So we start with Batman. This is about 1966, and it was given out in Canada.
Yeah.
Now the interesting thing is, like, these countries would have cooler promotions than America because they were cheaper to license. And they weren't making this medium, so the companies didn't really care that much. But when you got to America, it cost large amounts for licensing. You know, the Kellogg's had to pay off. because it was how many you made by how much you'd have to pay, or how much the serial company would have to pay to use these licenses. The Batscope, Periscope. This is 1966. This was also an American. So you could get this, you could send it away for 50 cents. This is the coolest Batman box that's ever made. 1966 in England. It's just visually, it's like so perfect. It's got action. It's coming. It's got, you know, the POW insignia with free inside, just like the TV show. This box took so long to get, just because it would be probably, I've never seen it before, so I don't know.
Yeah, the box you want to show that.
Oh yeah, you can read the box when it comes around. Look, it's Dynaman. He was that superhero, remember him? This is 1969. Who does that guy look like? That's it. So I think somebody was copying. This was like, I think it was only sold in a few places in the market. Ralston Korea put out in 69. So that's one of the weirdest superheroes. And I mean, wouldn't that kid be dead? You know how much space? I don't know, maybe he's up in the atmosphere or something. It's like, hey, get these kids out of space like that. Pac-Man, Super Pac-Man. I don't know if it was a game or not, but I got the boxes. Ooh, there's a different Pac-Man box.
I heard reading Pac-Man.
All right, 1976. Superman returns to Pep. He hadn't been on the boxes since the 1946 that you saw with the Pep pins. And on the back, there's a record there. Huh? Oh, that's right. So you could buy this record, you send it away. There's 4 different volumes. It was the old radio shows from the 40s. Because a lot of those radio shows were public domain, so it didn't cost them again, because George Garbedian made these records, and you didn't have to pay anything. So Cal said, okay, you guys fulfill it. You don't have to pay anything for licensing either. So this is the album. You can get it really cheap. I actually, today in the dealer's room, this one guy had one. So if you really want one, he's got it in the records. The only guy in the room has records, so run right down tomorrow. Superman 3, I think this is Canada. Pretty sure it's Canada. Sometimes I can't remember the countries. Supergirl on Count Chocula in Canada. Supergirl's never on any boxes anywhere. And then she shows up for a movie in '84 on the Monster Series in Canada. She's flying toward you. All right, this box. 1989 movie of Batman. That year for Batman collectability, before the movie came in, it was a crazy ad campaign for Batman, and everybody was ecstatic for it. Everything I had Batman I sold. I couldn't keep anything of Batman in. It's never happened again that much people wanting a character done by a movie. So this box was probably one of the most sold boxes ever, because people would buy cases because they think it would become really valuable and they stored them away. I stored 2 cases away too. So
How valuable are they?
Huh?
How valuable are they?
Here they're probably worth over $10 and under 15. Huh?
You mean the whole case, or?
No. You might be able to find it someplace for that. But I emptied all my cereal because we got grain bugs around here, and they eat through wax, they eat through the foil, they eat through everything. I double shrink wrapped some of my Wheaties, and they ate through my double shrink wrap because I was going to save, preserve it for humanity. And they would eat or something, and they ate the box lighter. I don't know if they take it out or something, they compress it, I'm not sure what they do. So Batman Returns came back like 92, I think it was.
Marshmallows.
Pretty late. Yeah, they always try to add these extra marshmallows for kids and stuff. No, I mean adults. And then they had the cartoon. It was like 1996, I think, when they had Batman the cartoon. And look at this, Batman stunt figure. It looks like this Batman run figure to me. I don't know, like.
Take your iPad on.
I don't know what the deal was on that. How did they come up with a stunt figure? So X-Men showed up in a couple boxes of Cookie Crisp in the early 90s. And Spider-Man came out in the first movie, the Spider-Man. And you notice Ralston did all these one-offs of movies and TV shows every once in a while. They're the only company that took these chances. The other companies really didn't do that. They just, I guess they're too big for the bridges or something. I don't know what the deal was on it. But later on, the big companies came in. And so here's the Spider-Man box with Kellogg to be like, I think 90 something, like 97 or 98.
I got spiky berry. I see spiders in my berries.
I
throw it out.
Yeah. I wouldn't know what those were. That's good. That's a good point. So look up on top. This is what they have on top. That was really ingenious. Look, we're on the web.
Is that Spider-Man web?
You see all these kids up on the web stuck. I'm on the web. But that was pretty neat. Here's another with corn pops with a big full use of the box, really beautiful graphics. He comes around, I think he's going to steal his corn pops or something, but you never know how he eats now, so that's the other. Here's another Spider-Man box, Spider-Man 3. You know, now they got another color-coordinated cereal. Now, of course, the Chick's he's a superhero. He's one of the best superheroes there was. Or is. The Tick. So there's the Great Gazoo.
Oh, yeah.
This is, I'm using, probably about 12, 13 years ago, Scott Shaw invited me and a friend to come to post-serial brainstorming session, okay? We're not gonna get paid, but like to be invited to a brainstorming for cereal it was amazing. So me and Michael came up with different ad campaigns. He made some at home and I made some at home to present to him, just to see what they do it. Just so fun to do it. So we go there, there's a giant round oval table. They put cereal and toys on there, and Scott's there, and the executives are there. East Coast is adult cereals, and West Coast is kid cereals for Post, for their corporations. Or obviously I was on the West Coast. And so, just to blow my, rag, I came up with this really fun idea to have free inside fizzies. Does everybody know what fizzies are? You put it into a drink, water, and it turns color and flavor. And I said, because I knew the guys at the fizzies. I talked to them, I said, I'm going to promote this at Post. Might you go on? And they said, yeah. I said, okay, let's have Gazoo Great. And you can have this imprint of Gazoo on there. And I said, the next one we could do Bam Bam Punch. And then I said, okay, and how about Rubble Berry Rubble? See, it's like Barney Berry for another color. And everything, oh, that's great. Nothing ever happened. I mean, I had both the companies would work with each other. They ended up, they only want to pay 2 cents an insert. And Fizzies could have they would subsidize it and be able to work with them. But we think one of Michael's ideas actually showed them on a box. We think that, we're not for sure. But they never gave us anything. But it's just the experience of doing it, and I always thank Scott for doing that for us. The Incredible superhero in the 90s. And Powerpuff Girls, they're good superheroes. Disney Mouse. They stole that from Post, but didn't do it.
It sounds like it's adorable.
Okay, this is like from England. No, it's from Canada because they had to do double language. This superhero doesn't have any legs.
That's Spanish.
Spanish? Okay. See, that's how I know about things like that. No legs for the superhero. And he's a piece of cereal. What the? Japan did the Superman movie. Now, I don't know what they were doing, but look at all these boxes. There's box 1, there's box 2, there's box 3, there's box 4. I'm thinking, are they making individual boxes, for the whole line? Because they made so many boxes. Box 5. I've never seen do so many promotions, so many cereals with different images on them. Usually they just put one image and then slap on every other box. Captain Crunch. Superhero, Superman insignia cereal. That was an amazing idea. And they sold them just like in Kmart's and stuff like that, some places weird. You didn't see them on the regular shelves. because Captain Crunch had Superman on the box, but he didn't have these shapes. So this was a special box that I came across accidentally. Okay, who can guess who this is in disguise? Okay, you guys are really good. Oh, another one. I was going to try to trick you on this one. Hulk smash cereal. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, if he smashes the cereal, it's going to be all over the kitchen. Okay, here's the rare box. Red Hulk.
I would have beaten that.
Yeah, well, I did Photoshop on that, okay? So if people try to find it, it's not real. It's not, Hulk in red is not real here. These are superheroes, okay? They go on stage and they're really brave. And it says, I can't see it, it's like singing power or something like that. So I just thought that put in, you really appreciate these high school people. Arr! Oh well. It said, if you saw it really fast, it's sex, drugs, and parody for the cereal boxes. These are my favorite parts. Okay, 1969. This is alphabets. Like, I'm about like 12 years old, and we have these wacky packs which make fun of food products. And I get this alphabets, free inside, 24-volume encyclopedia. How can that be? Now, how could you get something like that all into one box? Like, that could never be like it. To me, that was like, it was beyond my scope of like thinking, because it was such a crazy idea. Well, in about 1994, see, there's this 24-volume Britannica in every box. Yeah, awful bits. So about 1994, CD-ROM. It made my idea obsolete. It made the joke obsolete because it's real. I was like, I couldn't believe it. This is it, CD-ROM inside. Now this is one of my favorite breakfasts. Barkfest squares. Arf. Super premium breakfast. Now I think behind all that is like there's people underneath there waiting for food. And they're getting, I think it says something dog news. It says new dog news or something on that paper, he's reading it. And that's what they do when they're at the breakfast table. And that kid's left-handed too. The dog's left-handed. I guess they know. I don't know. Yeah. I'm glad you came. I wish you up here now.
Yes!
Oh! All right. These, like, Arabian boxes or wherever they were, they showed up in, like, big lots and pick and save, because they were like extra boxes or something. They sold there, but they were foreign boxes. No long nose, but he's a real monkey now. And it is Coco, see, that verified. It says Coco on his shirt. All right, Prince of Thieves came out like 1990 or 91. To us, as cereal box collectors, it became Penis of Thieves, because the cereal looked like little penises. We just laughed about that, and that was one of Ralston's one-offs. Prince of Penis. Everybody with me in Vanessa Williams in 1984? When she won Miss America? Do you remember it got taken away from her? Well, these boxes, before they hit the stores, they were recalled. And so some of the employees took them. And they made big money off of those. Like, I ended up buying like 20 or 30 of them from this one guy for $50 each in that era. Probably about 1986 or something. Just someone held on to it because they didn't want to find out. If Kellogg's found out, they would have been instantly fired. But the fun thing is, I think I do a close-up on this. Yeah. Read what this says. Through the issuance of this special edition, Patrick Kellogg gives recognition of Vanessa Williams for her achievement in having been selected Miss America '84. is with the intent that Kellogg's company provides this limited edition commemorative packages in plastic and magnet, that America remains a land of opportunity for all people, that we must continue to promote the American dream and encourage all Americans to freely pursue the life, liberty, and happiness. They pulled that box because she posed nude in, it wasn't Playboy.
Well, he had to do it, somebody sold it with Playboy.
No, it wasn't Playboy. It was,
I think it was
Penthouse. Penthouse, it was Penthouse, yeah, it was Penthouse. They pulled it, here they're saying what you can do for, life, liberty, happiness, and yet they pulled that box because they didn't want that connection. It's like most hypocritical boxes I've ever seen, is what they did. Okay, these are the drug cereals. It starts with Temptations. All right? This is a progressive thing. Then you go to Hemp Plus. This is just slow, it's like before Temptation. But people say you start with marijuana, but they started with Temptation.
Is it gateway cereal?
Yeah, it is a gateway cereal, yes. Then we go on to a higher level, ginger hemp. You go to a stronger cereal. So this next cereal is the worst cereal of yet. It was so bad, it was taken off the markets. And it was in Mexico. Whoops, this is the wrong one. I got mixed up. This next one is Perkios, where you go to tablets, okay? You start taking tablets. And this is what we're doing to our kids. Perkios for small kids. Okay, this next one is from Mexico. And it was the worst cereal box ever. Smack.
Not true smack.
It got changed because too many kids got OD'd, I'm pretty sure, or maybe even adults. But I bought it in Mexico. I was like, whoa, this is so fun, this is so great. And about 6 months or 8 months later, they changed it to Smack.
Kellogg's.
And that's a presentation of cereal boxes. So, I have one thing to give away.